Hey guys, I'm Doctor McFarland, and in this series, I'm going to be going over the Fractal FM9 step by step, and I'm not going to use the FM9 edit on a computer. I'm going to do everything from the surface of the FM9 and deep dive into menus, so you know exactly where to go when you need to adjust something on the fly without the aid of a computer or any other device. So today I'm playing my trusty Les Paul, and we're going to be building a brand new preset. So right now I'm on an empty preset, but I technically already have a full rig built. So let's go over the buttons right here so we can fully understand how to navigate around the main screen. So hitting the home button will get you back to your different presets, and you can see all 8 scenes there as well. Across the bottom we have the tuner, layouts, controllers, foot control per preset, and setup. We'll go over all these in future videos, but maybe for instance you want to be able to tune, so we can push on the tuner button and now we can tune. And this is a strobe tuner across the bottom, and then a regular tuner across the top. So it does make it very easy to see the tuner from a distance or at a glance and kind of know exactly where you are as far as tuning goes. Now if we press the exit key, we'll get back to our home page. And you can also see there's a little tuner icon across the top as well. So if we need any visual reinforcement, then that's a good area to do that from. So the main value knob right here, you can either push it down or you can turn it to do multiple things. So in our situation, we're going to go to preset 391. And this is a totally blank preset. And now we can push the value knob. And this gets us into a 6x14 grid that we can put blocks anywhere that we want. I'm not going to be too concerned about all the switches right now. I'm just going to look at the screen and our navigation buttons over here. Now, if I play my guitar, you're not going to hear anything coming out of the FM9. And what this basically tells us is we do not have signal coming out of the FM9. Now, from the LEDs over here, you can see by my guitar playing, we have signal coming in on input number 1. You can see input number 2 can be stereo, and input number 3 is also stereo. So in order to start making a rig, we have to use our navigation buttons here. And obviously if you move down, the yellow block will move down. Then side to side, pretty much wherever you want. Now you can make your rig as big or as small as you want, but just for the sake of showing you how to do this, let's go somewhere in the middle. And we're going to start turning our value knob until we get to input 1, because that's the input that I'm plugged into. And now we're going to press enter. You can't push in the value button, you can't go home, you can't press exit, you have to press enter to finalize that decision. Okay, now we're going to make a row of shunts, and those are going to be connected by cables. And the easiest way I know to do that, and this is what it says in the manual, is to simply press and hold the enter button, and this will make a string of shunts across your grid. Okay, so now at the last block that's already highlighted, we can turn our value knob until we get to output 1, which is what we're plugged into right now. Now I'm going to press enter, and now you're going to hear my guitar. Okay, so obviously you can hear that it's just a plain DI sound. That's because we don't have an amp and a cab block yet. So I'm going to use my left navigation button. We're going to go back just a little bit, and this will give us an amp and a cab in the middle with 2 blocks after and 2 blocks before. Now, like I said, we're going to keep this real simple in this video, but for future videos, we can branch out and get really wild with putting blocks all over the place and connecting them with our cables. So with this block highlighted, I'm going to turn the value knob until I get to amp 1 and press enter. Then use my right navigation to go over to the next block and start turning until I get to cab 1 or cabinet 1. So they already know that you need to add an amp and cab in order to get a decent sound. So they give you those options right at the very beginning, and they're also in alphabetical order, which also makes it pretty helpful as well. So this is what we have so far with nothing else touched, and then I'll show you how to go in and edit all these elements. Okay, so it's a sound. It may not be exactly what you're looking for, but it is something to start with. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's go on the next block. We're going to add in a delay. So there's delay 1, press enter. This is what this sounds like by default. The next block is going to be a reverb. So reverb 1. You can actually have 2 reverb blocks in the FM9, which is great. And quickly looking across the bottom here, we have the option to zoom in and out on our grid so we can actually see it a little bit bigger. But that also means you can't see the full grid all at once. So you'll have to use your navigation blocks to kind of scroll back and forth. So I like to keep it zoomed out so I can see all of it at once. And I don't really need to zoom in all that much. When you're on your delay and reverb, you can use the bypass button down here and push it in. That will bypass that block. So maybe we don't want to hear delay right now, but we do want to hear some reverb. And that's fine. Let's go to the block before the amp, and we're going to add in a drive. So drive 1. And each drive block can have 4 different channels. So that means you can have up to 4 different drive sounds within the same block. And then you can switch those around with scenes or assigning different channels to your foot switches down here. And we'll get into that in other videos. All right, and the last block is going to be a compressor. It didn't have to be a compressor. It can be a wall pedal. It could be all kinds of stuff, but we're just going to add a compressor. So remember to always press enter after you've chosen your block, but do not press enter again if you want to edit. You actually want to press the edit button. So let me show you real fast what will happen if you press enter again. This gets you into a routing mode. It's blinking in between 2 different blocks, and it wants you to do something. So for instance, if I use my navigation up button or down, it can be either one. So now this is going to blink, and then I press enter again. It's now going to create a cable and a shunt between the comp block and this other block. Now that is definitely a way to get more advanced, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So I'm going to use the C encoder and press delete, and there we go. So let's go down to our drive block and press bypass using the B encoder, and we can leave our compression on. Now, as far as editing these blocks, we need to press the edit button. Okay, so far we've used our value knob, our enter button, a few of these small encoder knobs down here to either turn or push. And now to get into a block to edit, we need to press the edit button up here. And we have a lot. We have 302 amp models we can choose from. And to quickly go between each bank or each row of amp options, we need to use our left and right navigation buttons. So we can get to all the different ones pretty quickly. And they're all in alphabetical order. So let's say I want to go to a Princeton. So I need to get to the P's and then go to this row and then scroll down till we get to our Princeton reverb. Okay, and this is the sound of that. Okay, in future videos, we're going to go over what else we can do with these amp blocks, but for now, I'm just going to tell you, you need to use your page left and right buttons to get to your different options across the top here. So we have tone, input EQ, output EQ. We can adjust our preamp, our power amp, our power supply. We can adjust our speaker response. We can do dynamics. So as well as having an actual compressor block, we can also add some output compression or speaker compression to our dynamics here. And then under advanced, this is where we can go in and change a lot of different stuff. If you scroll down to the very bottom here, we can see our bypass mode is set to through, which on some elements you want and other elements you do not want. So let's remember that for future videos. Same goes for our reverb, for instance. So if I click on edit, I have 66 reverb options. And for now, we're just going to choose maybe this is on a medium chamber right now, so that's perfectly fine. But we also have basic, EQ, advanced, mix. And we can also set our bypass mode directly from this screen. The amp block didn't have that option, right? So, but this makes it a little bit easier for you. So be sure to subscribe down below and click the bell so you'll be notified the next time I release videos in this series, and we can talk about different bypass modes. Let's look at our delay. See, I'm using my navigation left and right to go between the different columns of effects. And this has 27 delay types. And we can just do like a digital mono. And it's bypass right now. So we can use our C encoder to push, and that will become unbypassed. Okay, we can bypass that again, exit out. Let's go to our drives, press edit, and we have 63 drive models, which is really just insane. But let's put it on a tube drive, 3 knob. This is a Eric Johnson style overdrive, and we can go in and under the basic tab, we got drive tone and level. We got different EQ options, so you can really change and sculpt the sound how you want. Output EQ, we got our mix with our bypass mode there. And we have advanced, which we can actually change the clipping and the shape and the bias of all this. Now, we have grayed out knobs down here, and how to get to that is simply by pressing the navigation down button. That gets you to the next row of parameters. So navigation up is the first row, navigation down is the second row. And we can press exit to get out of this. So let's turn on the drive, and this is what the drive sounds like. Okay, now in order to save this, we need to press store. We can see we have the option for the location and also the preset name. So for our location, it can be 391. We're going to press the down arrow, and we can see across the encoders here, we can turn the C encoder for A through Z, which is uppercase. The D encoder has A through Z lowercase, and then the E encoder has 0 through 9 and also other characters. So I can start turning this till we get to B, then use our right arrow to go to the next slot. We can go down to A, next slot, next slot. And we're just going to call this basic. Now, obviously, it's way faster to do all this kind of stuff on a computer. You can just type it in with your keyboard. But I really do want you to know and understand how to do this on the main screen, even if it does take a little bit longer. Okay. Now that we've done that, we can hit enter again. It's going to ask us, do you want to overwrite this preset? Enter for yes and exit for no. We're going to press enter. And now it says we're saved. So we're going to always get back to the home screen right here. And to see our layout again, we need to press the value encoder. And there's all our beautiful drive blocks and amp blocks and cab and all that fun stuff. So that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, this is going to be all about editing directly on the unit and not on the FM9 edit, because I do want you to be confident about how to use the unit and not be intimidated by all the different buttons and options and whatever else. So if you can make a very basic preset just like that, then you can go on to make more complicated presets. I do have a course on my website that has some Fractal presets that I've made so far. And this is going to be a one-time $20 fee, and you get all the Fractal presets that I'm ever going to make. So if you want to further help support the channel, then go to my website, drmcfarlandstudios.com, and be sure to sign up for that course. And as I create presets, I will be uploading those to the website, and you can download them all for one low fee. So I do appreciate all you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe down below and click the bell. And until next time, I'm Dr. McFarland. I'll see you in the next video. Keep rocking.